Not y'all saying happy St. Patrick's Day when that day was not happy at all. Now, the published McGraw-Hill version of what they taught us St. Patrick's was leprechauns, gold coins, being lucky, and a man named St. Patrick's that removed the snakes from the motherland. But of course that was a cover-up, just like everything else they taught us. But basically on this day, a bunch of people that look like me were massacred by a man named St. Patrick. This is a photo of the Twa tribe, okay? These were the first people in Ireland. They look like me. So the people of the Twa tribe were very short, okay? They were like 5 feet in height, which is very short for an average adult, okay? So boom, they journeyed to Northern Ireland very early in its conception, prior to the Roman Catholic Church, right? So they had a cultural, philosophical, and technological impact on the people that were there, and those people were called the Druids. The impact was so heavy that the Druids started trying to wear the same headdress as the Twa tribe, which was, I'm gonna show y'all a picture, hold on. The same headdress that the kings and queens of ancient Kemet Egypt used to wear, baby, okay? So y'all know the Europeans, the Euros, always trying to come hate on us, right? So they had to nip that shit in the bud, okay? The Roman Catholic Church saw the influence was heavy and wanted to come in and either convert them, and if they couldn't convert them, get rid of them. So Saint Ignat Paddywhack came in and put Roman Catholic churches all over Northern Ireland. And in the process of putting those churches up, he was either trying to convert the Twa Druid or get rid of them. Which one did y'all think he did? St. Paddy massacred countless numbers of Twa and Druid people. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I searched high and low for a picture of St. Paddy, and this is one of the ones that I found that was interesting because look at his fingers. Y'all see his fingers? Y'all know what I'm talking about? Y'all see his fingers? If y'all know what I'm talking about, hold on. Look familiar. I'm just saying. Okay, so like I said before, the published reason for St. Patrick's Day and the celebration of it is because he removed the snakes from the motherland. But let's really get into what that really means. Okay, let's put it all together. The Twa people wore a headdress called the uraeus that the kings and queens of ancient Kemet used to wear. It had a snake on it. Can snakes even survive in Ireland, Cedra? There are no snakes in Ireland for the simple reason they couldn't get there because the climate wasn't favorable for them to get there. The story isn't really adding up for me. Oh, and leprechauns, you say? Yes, referring to the 5-foot tall Twa tribe. Because they were small. They were very short, so. Happy St. Patrick's Day! The loser never writes history.
The original hunter-gatherers to come to Britain and Ireland were black. So say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Called Cheddar Man, a hunter-gatherer and one of the first people to populate the islands of Britain and Ireland. Turns out to have dark skin, black hair and blue eyes. Now this shouldn't come as a surprise to most Irish people. If you look around Ireland today, it's evident that the Irish are a mix of different peoples. And the latest genetic evidence is just confirming this. The first people to arrive in Britain and Ireland were hunter-gatherers like Cheddar Man, who came from the continent. They lived by gathering nuts and berries and by hunting animals. Cheddar Man was lactose intolerant because farming hadn't arrived in Britain or Ireland and wouldn't arrive for another few thousand years, and so he couldn't digest milk.
Listed as black or mulatto. For example, the following reference shows not some, but all Dakotas who came from Ireland were listed as people of color. They are referred to as mulattoes. The old definition, not the new definition, but the old definition of the word mulatto simply referred to someone with mixed European and African ancestry. As the following reference reads, and it reads, mulatto, 1590s, one who is the offspring of a European and a black African. This could be a mix of a white European and a black African, or a black European and a black African. And for clarity, we can find pictures of mulattoes in a Spanish museum today. And as you can see, these are...
Being black and Irish made me thought to myself, why is there no Irish black history? So I decided to do some research to see what I can find. So with that, here is Irish Black History, Part 1. So today we learn about Rachel Baptiste. She was a black Irish singer born in the 1700s who had a successful career spanning up to 25 years. She was a student of Bernardo Palma and she performed in theatres, assembly halls and pleasure gardens all over Ireland and England. By the late 1700s, she was one of the most popular performers in Ireland, and our last record of her performances were her Belfast winter concerts of 1772-73. Rachel Baptiste is an example of how a black woman in 18th century Ireland was able to use her talents to defeat adversity and racism. Rachel Baptiste is an Irish legend. Hope you love that, guys. Comment if you want to learn more about Black Irish history. Slán Leat and Cé Messia.
Black Irish History, Part 24. Today we're going to be talking about one of the most influential African Americans within Irish history. His name is Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass was an African American abolitionist and author who escaped slavery and arrived in Ireland in 1845. He arrived in Dublin with the intention of publishing his best-selling narrative of the life of Frederick Douglass, an American slave. Frederick's time in Ireland can be characterised as being transformative. Whilst there, he gave almost 50 lectures across the country. This coincided with Daniel O'Connell and the campaign to repeal the Act of Union of 1800. Frederick loved his experience in Ireland. As he wrote to his mentor, William Lloyd Garrison, "I find myself not treated as a colour, but as a man." This is his reflection of being free from slavery, being safe and seen as an equal amongst the Irish. Frederick helped garner support for Irish freedom from British rule, but argued against comparisons made in Ireland that the treatment of black people in America was the same as the Irish by Britain. He argued in a famous speech in Ireland that the Irish were oppressed but were not slaves. He wanted it to be clear that the Irish experience was very different because unlike the black slaves in America, the Irish were free to marry, move around and emigrate. Frederick Douglass was a black man who fought for Irish freedom, fought for black freedom and fought for human freedom. Thank you, Frederick.